Okay, boys and girls, today is a very important day. It's a very important day. Today is Turning Point Day. Turning Point Day. Okay, day 21. So, what I want us to do is I want you to go to your reading notebook, and we are going to write in our table of contents. Okay, let me switch this camera over here. We're going to write. Let's make sure that this is focused for you. There we go. Okay, today is 127 21. 127 21, January 27th, 2021. Today is day 21. Day 21. And our topic for today is the turning point. Write that down. The turning point. Today, everything will change. Everything will change. Okay, boys and girls, if you don't have your reading notebook, please go grab a blank sheet of paper so you can write this down. And then when you come back to class and you get your reading notebook, you can copy it down. Maribel, do you have your reading notebook? Do you have your reading notebook, Maribel? Or
I have a question. You know how on Monday and Tuesday, Mr. Alvarez took me to go do tests?
yeah.
I missed basically a lot of it.
Mhm. Don't worry, Maribel. I did record those, and I'll send them to you today. Okay, I'm gonna post them. I already posted them on YouTube. So if you go to Mr. Campos's channel, Mr. Campos the teacher. Remember, I have a YouTube channel, Mr. Campos the teacher. That's my name on YouTube, Mr. Campos the teacher. If you look me up on YouTube, you will see the videos there. Okay, my YouTube name is Mr. Campos the teacher. Okay, back to our table of contents, day 21, turning point. Boys and girls, today I'm going to teach you that good readers, as they approach the end of the third quadrant, I don't know if you've noticed, but we've hit that the third little flag in our book. We've reached the third little flag. Okay, so we're there. We are at the third quadrant. Very close to the third quadrant. We just need a couple more pages. Page 105, that's the end of the third quadrant. We're almost there. So as we are approaching the end of the third quadrant, then you are going to that we start to notice things, okay? You look we look when we are approaching the end of the third quadrant, we look for the turning point. The turning point. Hi, Abel. Welcome to class. Welcome to class, Abel. Um, yeah, you look for the turning point, and at the turning point, the plot changes dramatically. So everything changes. Everything changes when you are when you get to the turning point. You think the story's going this way, it's going this way. Peter wants to go to war with his grandpa. Peter wants his room. Peter is planning attacks with his friends. Peter's trying to he steals grandpa's wristwatch. He sets an alarm, and then all of a sudden you hit the turning point, and then everything changes. Everything changes. And right now, we are going to read all the way until we get to the end of quadrant 3, and you're going to see that everything is going to change. The turning point is the most important event of the story. The turning point is the most important event in the whole book because it will change the way the story is going to go. It will also reveal the author's message. So right now, we think that the author's message, we think that the author is trying to teach us that war hurts and disagreements should be resolved peacefully. We even wrote it down. We wrote it down on page 15. If you go to page 15, we wrote it down. It says, war hurts right here. War hurts. So disagreements should be resolved peacefully. That's what we think. We have been collecting evidence. We have been collecting evidence to prove what the author is trying to tell us, that war hurts, so disagreements should be resolved peacefully. And so far we have. Can somebody tell me what is the first bullet? What is the first bullet in our evidence, in our evidence box? Somebody tell me, what is the first bullet? Raise your hand and I will call on you. The first bullet. We wrote it down on Monday and Tuesday. So if you were here, if you were in class, you should know this. The first bullet. What is this first bullet? Somebody read this to me. The first one in the box. Hey, Lynn?
I think it is.
Well, you wrote it down. Remember, it's in your notebook. It's right here. What is that first bullet?
Grandpa Jack is tired after his alarm clock goes off at 3:00 a.m.
Yes, read me the next one.
Peter is hurt after Grandpa Jack slaps his cheek.
Beautiful, Helen. Thank you so much. Helen, next time I see you, I'm going to give you a candy bar because that means that you were focused, you were paying attention, you were watching the videos. So when next time I see you, you get a candy bar. Don't let me forget. Okay? So good job. Good job. Kyra, what is the next bullet that we have here? What is the next bullet? Did you write it down, Kyra? See you raising your hand, Landon. I'll go to you next. What is the third bullet, Kyra?
Peter no longer trusts his grandpa.
Exactly. Peter just got slapped by his grandpa. And now his grandpa was at the dinner table acting all nice, acting like if nothing ever happened. And now he's like, why is he acting like that? I don't trust him. So yes, that's another example of how war hurts. War hurts. What's the next bullet, Landon? What's the next bullet? Where are you? I can't find you. Landon, where are you? Did you leave? Oh, no. Oh, there you are. Ah! Okay. Okay, Landon, what's the fourth bullet?
Both Grandpa and Peter are angry, being mean to each other.
Yes, both Grandpa and Peter are being mean to each other. Now they're attacking each other. And they're playing pranks on each other and being mean to each other. That is perfect, correct. Thank you for paying attention. Landon wasn't in class. He wasn't here. That means that he actually showed up to class and he wrote down what he needed to write down. Okay, one more. So I'm giving a candy bar to Helen. I'm giving a candy bar to Kyra and a candy bar to Landon. Let's see, the fourth candy bar is gonna go to who has the last bullet. What is the last bullet? Felix, what is it? Oh, Mr. Campos, you have to unmute him. Go ahead, Felix.
Hold a second, I need to find the page. Dang it, did I not write it down?
You didn't write it down? It's on page 15.
Got to write it down.
You forgot? Oh, okay. It's all right, buddy. It's okay. Jaslyn, what's up? Do you have that 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth bullet?
Well, actually, I just came and I don't know which page we are on.
Okay, we haven't even started, so don't worry about it. I'll tell you right now what page we're on. All right, last attempt, and then I'm just going to tell you what the last bullet is because we're wasting time. All right, Abram, last bullet, my friend. Please tell me.
War causes friends to be angry with each other.
Yes, thank you, Abram. Thank you. Yes, I will give you a candy bar tomorrow. Good job paying attention. Another student who is not in the classroom when we did this. Another student that was paying attention, even from home, showing up to class. Good job. You're going to get that candy bar tomorrow when I see you. So, boys and girls, that's all evidence. That is all evidence of war hurts. Disagreements should be resolved peacefully. Okay? That's all evidence that we have had here in this book so far. And so now, as we turn to our page, Jaslyn was asking, what page are we on? We are on page 100. Turn to page 100. Okay? Turn to page 100. We are on page 100. The chapter is called Playing Hardball. Playing Hardball. And Mr. Campos is going to put, I am going to put my book under the doc cam. So those of you that don't have it, or you haven't picked it up, or whatever the situation is, or you forgot it here in the classroom, I am going to put it under the doc cam so you can read along with me. Okay. All right. Page 100. Here we go. Page 100. Chapter 28. Playing hardball. Go ahead and pin my video or turn to speaker view so you can see this. So you can see this clearly and you can see it well. Okay. All right, here we go. So let me just recap real quick. Peter and Grandpa are returning from a fishing trip. They had a great time. So much. They had such a great time that now they've gone multiple times. They've gone many times fishing. And now they have come back and it looks like Peter's really happy with his grandpa, but then he steals his wristwatch. He steals his watch. Let's see what happens next. It did not take Grandpa too long to discover that his watch was missing. And I guess he didn't have to walk around trying to figure out where it had gone. He came upstairs the next morning. It was a Sunday, and I was waiting around for Mom and Dad to wake up so I could go downstairs for breakfast. I heard Grandpa coming and grabbed a book so I could be pretending to read. Grandpa knocked on my door ever so lightly, then pushed it open a crack to look in. "Awake, I see," he said. He came in and sat down on my rocker. He was wearing his pajamas, robe, and slippers. A funny thing happened this morning, he said. I went to slip my watch on, and guess what? It seemed to be missing from my dresser. Is that so? I said in a casual way. That's a fact. Well, I said, maybe there was a thief who came into the house last night and stole it. Don't think so, Grandpa said, seeing as how my wallet was on the dresser too, right? Next to my watch, and it wasn't even touched. I had quite a few dollars in it too. Maybe it was a very dumb thief, I said, or a thief who needed only a watch. Grandpa looked at me and grinned. I didn't blame him. What I'd said sounded stupid to me too. How come you didn't leave a note? Grandpa said. I think we're past all that, I said. Maybe so. I took your watch, I said. We both know that. Grandpa kind of shook his head a little. I was kind of thinking maybe our little war was over, he said. Especially after yesterday, I had a good time fishing with you, Pete. You're very good company. Well, I said, it wasn't your average kind of day for me either. I had one of the best days of my life with you. But, I said, and sort of shrugged, it doesn't change things, Grandpa. So I see. There's something I want, and you have. And I won't, and I don't know what else to do except fight for what's mine, I said. Boys and girls, when the book said that Peter does not know what else to do but fight, I was thinking that this was an important event because it shows that Peter doesn't really want to fight. Peter doesn't really want to fight with his grandpa anymore. He just doesn't know how else to solve the disagreement. He does not know how to solve this problem that he has. This makes me think that Peter is starting to learn that war is hurtful. War is hurtful, and he is starting to understand that. Okay, let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. Too bad, Grandpa said. But look, Petey, I have a special reason for wanting my watch back. It was a gift from Grandma, you see, on our 40th wedding anniversary. I treasure it, son. Boys and girls, can you tell me why a gift from Grandma is such a big deal? Why is a gift from Grandma, why is that such a big deal to Grandpa? It's just a watch. Why is this such a big deal to Grandpa? Diego?
Because Grandma died, and that's the only thing that Grandma left behind.
Beautiful, beautiful response. Yes, that's true. That's very, very true. Grandma has passed away. Grandma has died. And he does not have anything else other than that watch. That is a special watch to him. It is so special because Grandma gave it to him. Grandma gave it to him. Thank you, Diego. Perfect answer. Okay, let's keep reading. Well, now I felt like the most miserable, low-down person in the whole wide world. But I wasn't about to give up. It's in a safe place, Grandpa, I said, and I'll take good care of it. I didn't have to take care of it at all because it was wrapped up nice and snug in a pair of my white socks and hidden away in a tennis ball can in the bottom of my camp trunk. I could probably find it if I looked, Grandpa said. I don't think so, I said. I'm pretty good at looking, Grandpa said. When you're in school, Pete, I've got all day to turn this place over. You could look for 1,000,000 years and never find it, I said. Grandpa sighed and rocked a few times in the chair. I'd rather you handed it back by yourself, he said. No way, I said. Not until you give me my room back. I've heard that before, he said. How about if I say, please? Look, Grandpa, I said, all you have to do is tell Mom and Dad that you want to switch rooms with me. That's easy, isn't it? Grandpa took a long look in my eyes, rocking so gently in my chair. You're really like a broken record. You know that, he said. I only want what's rightfully mine, I said. So, Grandpa said, now we're playing hardball, eh? I'm not playing, I said. No room, no watch. Fair enough, Grandpa said. He got up and slowly walked to the door. But from now on, he said, you'd better watch out. Next page, chapter 29. Waiting for the other shoe to drop. Did you ever know something terrible was going to happen, but you didn't know when? That's the way I felt the whole time when Grandpa waited before striking back at me. It was really smart of him, diabolical, if you want to know the truth. I walked around going crazy for about a week. I mean, it's hard to be calm when someone is going to do something to you and you don't know what it is or when it is going to happen. I lay awake without sleeping a few nights, wondering when the blow was going to come down. It reminded me of the story about an old Greek guy named Damocles, who went to a party where they hung a sword over his head by a hair. It had to be either a very skinny sword or a very fat hair. But either way, it couldn't have been too comfortable to be waiting for that sword to come down and slice you into human chicken parts. I felt like I was in the dentist's office waiting my turn, wondering how much it was going to hurt. Boys and girls, put your bookmarks in for 1 second. When the book said that Peter was waiting for Grandpa's next attack and wondering how much it was going to hurt, this is another piece of evidence that we are going to add in our evidence collection box. Peter is starting to realize that war does hurt. War hurts, people. War hurts. And so I want you to turn to page 15. Turn to page 15 in your reading notebook, and we are going to write that right there. Peter is finally realizing that war hurts. He knows that when Grandpa attacks him, it's going to hurt. So write this down. Give me my next bullet. Next bullet. Thank you for writing it down. Thank you for writing this down in your notebook. Thank you. Thank you. I want you to write, Peter knows Peter knows that when an opponent retaliates, Peter knows that when an opponent retaliates, this is a fancy word. Retaliates means that when an opponent strikes back. Peter knows that when an opponent strikes back or retaliates, comma, it will hurt. That I am going to bold and underline because now Peter is understanding that war hurts. War hurts. So let's keep reading here. We are on the top of page 105. 105. Let's go. He says, I felt like I was in the dentist's office waiting my turn, wondering how much it was going to hurt. It's the same feeling I get in school just before a test when everything I studied just jumps out of my head. You could ask me my own name just before a test, and I might not know it. And Grandpa was teasing me, which didn't help a bit. You look nervous, he'd say. I am, for goodness sakes, I'd say. I wish you'd do something already. Patience, he'd say with a funny smile that gave me a chill. Psychological warfare, right? I mean, he was messing with my mind, and the more he waited, the more messed up I got. I left one of my school books home one day, just plain forgot it. I knew why, because I was too busy worrying over what kind of trick he was going to pull on me. Grandpa told me a joke one afternoon. It was about a guy who lived below a man who took off only one shoe when he got into bed at night. The man below couldn't hardly sleep, waiting for the other shoe to drop. I didn't think it was very funny. All right, boys and girls, we have reached the end of the third quadrant. We are on page 106, so please put your bookmarks in on page 106 on chapter 30. Put your bookmark in on chapter 30 so you don't lose your spot. But we have just seen another example of Peter starting to realize that war is not funny. War is not funny. Write this down. Peter, let's go our next bullet here. Our next bullet is Peter realizes war is not funny. War is not funny. Peter realizes that war is not funny. War isn't funny. So we have reached the end of the third quadrant. we have reached the turning point. This whole time, Peter has said, war, that's how I'm going to get my room back. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to attack, attack, attack. His friends told him to punch his grandpa in the face. This is the turning point. This whole time, Peter's going like this. War is fun. War is fair. All is fair in love and war. I'm going to attack my grandpa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then all of a sudden, turning point, which means that his mind has changed. The story was going this way, but now that we've reached the turning point where Peter realizes that war is not funny and war hurts, the story goes in a different direction now. Okay, the story goes into a different direction. So next time that I see you, next time that we talk, tomorrow at 10:30, when I see you again, we are going to get closer and closer to finishing our book. Thank you for watching. Let me end this video real quick. I'm recording. So let me end this recording. And we have some stuff to talk about here in a